Good evening and welcome to another edition of Hgp Sport. For today, I'm Jaden Samuels. Thanks for joining us. We begin the cast by telling you that one of the country's leading cricket facilities, the Everest Cricket Club, has re-elected Manzoor Nadir as president for another term. Here's that story. Sitting at the helm in 2019, Nadir's tenure this time around has been extended to 2 years after the membership moved a motion to increase his time in office. The annual general meeting, which took place in the club's banquet hall at the weekend, saw most of last year's executives returning, while there are 3 new faces. Former club manager Rihanna Ragobir has been elected to serve as secretary. CEO of VNet Communications, Safraz Shifruddin, is the new assistant treasurer, while second division player Joshua Kisoon comes in as an internal auditor. For the highlight of the evening, returning officer Anand Sanasi had little difficulty going through the process of nomination and voting, since the majority of the club's membership were in support of Nadir for a second term. Nadir, in his address, charged the membership to play their part and to continue their support for the much-loved club, which continues to achieve its objectives as a cricket club that executes its role in Georgetown, Demerara, Guyana, and the West Indies. Jaden Samuels, Hgp Sport. Turning our attention to some rifle shooting, Ryan McKinnon and Rajiv Lacha shot their way to the top in their respective divisions in the PNP Insurance Brokers Annual Pistol Competition. The details in this report.
At the weekend, the Tamari Range came alive in the first competition of the year. 13 members came out with their guns and holsters ready to do battle in the limited and production division. The 4-stage steel challenge match was made up of the Smoke and Hope, Accelerator, the Pendulum, and the Roundabout categories. In the limited division, after the dust had settled and the last round fired, Ryan McKinnon had mastered the 4th-stage in a time of 69.35 seconds. McKinnon put out a jaw-dropping performance and shot his best time in the Smoke and Hope category in 13.75 seconds, the Accelerator in 19.92 seconds, the Pendulum in 20.30 seconds, and the Roundabout in 15.38 seconds. Finishing second place some 13 seconds behind was John Pang with a time of 83.22, and Pravish Hari just a few seconds off his tail in third with 83.43 seconds. Meanwhile, in the production category, Rajiv Lacha showed his prowess with a pistol, firing off the best times throughout the 4 stages, taking the Pendulum in 29.11 seconds, the Roundabout in 16.09 seconds, the Smoke and Hope in 15.94 seconds, and the Accelerator in the time of 21.09 seconds, to finish with a time of 82.23. Topping the list, just 10 seconds behind, was Andrew Fang with a time of 92.16 seconds. And rounding out the top 3 was Michael Blake with a time of 109.02 seconds. For Hgp Sport, I am Stanford Howard.
Turning our attention to some table tennis news, 9-year-old Jasmine Billingy has done it again in outstanding style, capturing gold in the Guyana Table Tennis National Championship at the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall at the weekend. The details in the Samuel Gillis report.
The highlight of the night in the Guyana Table Tennis National Championship on Saturday was 9-year-old Jasmine Billingy, as she battled her way to gold in the women's under-21 category. She played unbeaten in the round-robin finals to clinch her maiden senior title. Small though she is, Jasmine also took on Theria Thomas in the under-15 tournament and served past her, giving her supporters much to shout about. Though Thomas is her Titans club mate, her competitiveness was not clouded by association. She continued and triumphed over the under-18 champion Christelle Milvilli, taking the title in like fashion in a 3-2 set of 11-4, 11-8, 6-11, 5-11, and 11-5. Jasmine, who was sponsored by Car Care back in 2018, was 7 years old and captured both the girls under 9 and under 11 titles and was dubbed one of the most exciting prospects in her age group. Last year, Jasmine won her second title, dominating in the mini and pre-cadet championships, and presently remains one of the most dominant female table tennis icon in Guyana at age 9. For HGP Sport, I am Samuel Gillis.
The group stage is done and dusted in the Magnum Mash Cup as the quarterfinal kicks off on Tuesday at the National Gymnasium.
On the last night of the group stage, fans were able to witness some of the best indoor action with 7 exciting games. First to do battle on Sunday was Maka Arcadia and Spot 7. It was Maka's night as they showcased their talent needed to get them to the next fixture by pulling out all the stops with a 3-0 victory over their opponent. Delon John was the mastermind behind the attack, penetrating the defense twice in the 11th and 14th minutes, as Tion Jones with a goal in the 12th minute was the other man behind the 3-0 win. While in match 2 and match 3, Melanie Darmashala went down to Spartacus 3-1, with all of Spartacus goals coming within the first 10 minutes, while in Game 3, Sophia outshone Kingston with a 2-1 victory. In the 3 remaining group matches, Albystown defeated Stabroek Ballers 3-1. Goal is Money did a number over Belfield Warriors with an 8-0 win, and underdogs Anson McCall trunks back Circle 2-0. The quarterfinal kicks off on Tuesday at 1900 hours at the National Gymnasium, with Kingston versus Island All-Stars, Belfield Warriors versus Stabroek Ballers at 1930 hours, and Showstoppers versus Avocado Ballers at 8:20 hours. And in the last match of the quarters, Ben Street tackles Northeast La Penitence at 22:30 hours. For HGP Sport, I am Stanford Howard.
And finally in sport this evening, Mike Guidin, Patton George and Patrick Prashad delivered superb performances at the Lusignan Golf Club to emerge as fly champions in the second Joe Solomon Golf Tournament at the weekend. The details in this report. The action was intense with the usual keen rivalry amongst the members of each flight, but it was veteran Guidin's best score of 77, giving him a tournament best net of 65 in the 10-18 flight, which stood out. This was followed by George Balkan in second with 69-15, tied with Rakesh Hari 69-14 score. Joseph Stanislaus Solomon, born in 1930 at Portmorant, Corentyne, Berbice, is a Guyanese and West Indian cricketing icon, contemporary with Sir Gary Sobers and Frank Worrell, Rohan Kanai and Basil Butcher, who in 27 test matches for the West Indies from 1958 to 1965 amassed a record of 1,326 runs, mainly from number 6 and 7 in the batting lineup. Joe, who also played first-class cricket for Guyana from 1956 to 1969, is the only player in first-class cricket history to score 3 centuries in their first 3 innings for the then British Guyana. Jaden Samuels, HGP Sport. That concludes our cast for this evening. I'm Jaden Samuels, reminding you, as always, say yes to life, yes to sport, and no to drugs. Good night.